For the purposes of our explanation here, the tiles themselves are grouped into really 4 sets. This image shows 5, but all you need to care about is that we have our mon, or commonly referred to as character tiles, our pin, or circles, and our so, or bamboo. These range from numbers 1 through 9 in each. Some tiles that you'll see will actually have the number on them, others may not, but you should be able to tell for the most part, except maybe the mon tiles, because you may not read Japanese numbers. For the Doman Mahjong, they actually have the numbers on them instead of the characters, so you're good to go. The winds and dragons are commonly grouped together as yaku, or honor tiles. These are special, and we'll get into them in a second. When starting the game, you're going to draw 13 tiles into your hand, as indicated here. Your goal is to build a hand using these 13 tiles plus 1 more for 14. This 14th tile will either be drawn by you or discarded by another player. Whenever you draw a tile, you must then discard a tile to build your hand. Card you discard, placed in front of you, and you'll keep going until someone calls a hand and goes out. Now, there are several different ways to go out, with the most common being building a hand of triplets and sequences, or the technical term being pawns and cheese. Triplets are 3 of the same number, or honor tile. If it's numbers, they have to be in the same suit. So in this case, we can see here it's 7 pin or 7 of circles. For sequences, this only applies to number tiles, and it has to be 3, 4, 5, 3 in a row. And they have to be the same suit. So again, 3, 4, 5 of circle, pin, 7, 8, 9 of mon, and 5, 6, 7 of soul. When you're building your hand, like I said, you're going to have 13 tiles plus 1 for 14. Your goal is to make 4 of these groupings. They're called melds. So you're going to have 4 either triplets or sequences, and then that leaves you with 12 tiles. The last 2 need to be paired off, as shown here, either pair of sevens, pair of green dragons, so on and so forth. Those are the most basic. That's the most basic aim of any hand you're building, is to get for this. There are special exceptions, but when you're just starting out, this is what you should constantly be aiming for. The rest will follow later. Once you get to a hand of this, see here you have 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7. There's three sequence triplets, and then a triplet here that gives you 4 melds, and then a pair. That's a full winning hand, and you can go out. For the most part, as long as you understand this rule, you'll be good to go to play. The big thing you have to keep in mind, though, is this game is a bit like if you were playing video poker, where they all commonly have a pair of jacks minimum. Mahjong has that as well. There are a number of hands you have to get into. Don't worry about getting into tenpai, we'll cover that here in a second. Let's see, so let's look at this for a second. Which tile does this hand need to win? Well, let's see here. They've already got 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, pair of 2s, and a 4, 5, 6. The only thing left over is this 3 and 4, so the answer is A, the 2 pin, and that completes this meld, winning the hand. Let's do it again. We see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a set of 1s, and a leftover 2. Well, theoretically, you'd be like, okay, well, just a second 2 would win. And that is technically true, but in this case, it's actually this 3 bamboo is the option, because we can isolate these 2 as a pair and then have a 1, 2, 3 run. So there we go. Here's what they're talking about. So when they say tenpai, that is where your hand is 1 tile away from winning. Remember, you have 13 tiles, and you have to either draw or be dealt the 14th tile. This means that, in this case, they already have 3 of their melds completed, and they already have their pair, they just are waiting for the last tile to finish this. That means they're in quote-unquote tenpai. Their hand is ready to go out. This is a very important thing to learn how to get to. You want to get to this as quickly as possible in every hand you play, because this will come into play later. However, as is mentioned here, let's just go. No, wrong button. Let's just go ahead and do. Alright, so this was 2-pin, 3 of bamboo. So, a winning hand must contain a Yaku. Remember how I mentioned the pair of jacks minimum? This is where this comes into play. If you look on the screen here, they've already got they've got a triplet of one of bamboos, a triplet of one of characters, a 3, 4, 5 of characters, and they have a pair of 7s of characters and a pair of south winds. So theoretically, they could win by going out with either a 3rd 7 to complete this triplet, or a 3rd south wind to complete this triplet. But this hand doesn't meet that pair of jacks minimum. They don't have a Yaku. So Yaku are the hands you can actually go out on. Most of them are actually pretty simple. It's not until you get into the really high-end stuff that it gets complicated. So any hand that has a triplet of dragons, either white, green, or red, there you go. You have your Yaku, you're good to go. If your hand has a triplet of the wind that the round is in, most commonly this is going to be the east or the south, you should be able to see on screen at any time on the Doman Mahjong screen what that is. As long as you have that, that's the, quote, prevalent wind, that is also a Yaku. Also, everyone at the table is going to be assigned a wind that'll rotate every hand. So you may start out as the north wind, and then the next hand will be the west wind. If the triplet of winds that you have is the wind that you're assigned, that is also a Yaku. Any of these will qualify. Another one that you could have is what we call all simples, or Tanyao. Tanyao means you cannot have any honor tiles in your hand, and you can't have any of the terminal tiles. Terminal tiles are the ones at the ends of the suits, so the 1s or the 9s. As you can see here, this hand is ready to go out, and it doesn't contain any of these. By doing this, you have a Yaku. Another one that's very common, and is actually kind of fun to do, is called the Riichi. Riichi is basically a declaration that my hand is ready to go out. You're broadcasting that you're in Tenpai. There's a requirement to do it, though. As long as you have not taken any tiles anyone else has played, you've just built your hand just by drawing, your hand should be fully concealed, meaning only you can see it. Only you can see any of the tiles in it. As long as that requirement is met, you can go into Riichi. You can declare Riichi, and you'll continue playing. When you use Riichi, you're not bound by other Yaku, because Riichi itself is a Yaku. However, there is a very, very critical point about Riichi. When you declare Riichi, you'll say, okay, I'm going into Riichi. You'll bet 1,000 points, because you do actually have to bet it. And if you don't win the hand, you lose that 1,000 points. And for the rest of the hand, you are not allowed to change your hand. Meaning any tile you draw, if it's not your winning tile, must be discarded. This can be detrimental, because if you draw something that you know for a fact is going to be dealt into someone, too bad, so sad. But Riichi also has an advantage in that it really can make players question, do they want to keep going for a big hand? Or do they want to try and end it quickly? So what they're showing here is a sample hand that you could attempt to go out with, or at least declare Riichi with, when they say you must not have done any of the following. Well, as you're playing, you may be sitting there with 2 east winds in your hand and be like, okay, where's the third one? I need to draw it. And someone could play it. In that case, you can declare that you have that triplet or pawn, reveal the 2 east winds you have, and take the 3rd one they just dealt. Doing so gives you that triplet, but it does reveal them in your hand. And as such, as soon as you do that, Riichi is no longer available. And there are several Yaku like that, where you must have your hand fully concealed. In order from left to right, these are a chi, a pawn, and this one's special is called a con. It's 4 of a kind, and we'll get into con later. Important to note, pawn can be taken from any other player. Sitting next to you, sitting across from you, doesn't matter. However, chi, the run of 3, can only be taken from the discards of the person on your left. Meaning, if the person to your right or across from you deals into it, too bad, you can't take it. Also of note, you cannot go back to an earlier discard from a person when your hand changes. You can only take the tile they discard when they discard it. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Which of these is a Yaku in the current situation? We're currently in the East Wind round, and we are the dealer, so we are East Wind here. Neither of these, neither South nor West are the round wind, and neither South nor West are our wind. So the answer is A, East Wind. Which of the following tiles should we discard if we want to achieve Tanyo? Remember, Tanyo is all simples. All simples means no honors and no terminal tiles. So the answer is the terminal tile, 1 of bamboo. 1 so. The game interface is something that they will vary between different games. We'll look at the Doman Mahjong one here in a second, but for now, let's go ahead and take this. Which of the following hands can chi, or run triplets, with the 6 of bamboo? Obviously, the 4 or 5 of bamboo. Remember, it has to come from the last, from the person to your left, the last player to play before you. Pawns, like covered, those are triplets. So west wind to west winds. And that more or less covers the basics. This program right here I'm using is called Mahjong Souls. I do recommend trying it out if you're looking for quick games. But let's go ahead and stop here, and we'll go ahead and switch over to the Doman Mahjong and give that a look over itself. And here we are in Final Fantasy XIV. In order to play Doman Mahjong, you first need to unlock it, which if you go to the Gold Saucer and talk to this lady, she'll teach it to you. I think there's a quest you have to pick up elsewhere in the Gold Saucer, but it's very easy to find. When you talk to her, she actually offers to teach you it, which she does have rules here, but they're not really that well written out. So it's difficult to figure out exactly what she's asking. That's why we made this video. Now, there's 2 ways to play. You can either play against NPCs, which you do by sitting down at one of these tables, the Novice, Intermediate, or Advanced table. Or if you'd like to play in PvP, you can actually go into your Gold Saucer duties and scroll down here, and you'll see Novice Mahjong and Advanced Mahjong ranked. There's also this Kuitan, but don't worry about that. That's not really necessary for what you're trying to do to get this orchestrion roll. Now, honestly, you should be able to get all the way to the 1600 rating required for the orchestrion roll just through Novice. However, the queue times aren't great, and really this is the only way you're going to do it. So make sure you set aside some time, or just do 1 or 2 games a day or every couple days, and you'll get there over time. But let's actually sit down to play. So we're going to go ahead and pop over here to the Novice table, and we're going to beat up on some Moogles, Spriggans, and Mandragoras real quick. So here's the interface. As you can see, it's the East round, and we are the South wind. Everyone starts at 25,000 points, and we draw and discard. Now, you're going to get this little marker here that gives you advice on what to discard. I would go ahead and turn that off, just because it's like it'll help you a little bit, but you really should learn how to do this yourself, especially once you get into the ranked. There's also this dangerous tile marker. You can leave that on or off. Honestly, again, I'd say leave it off, just because it's not going to help you as much as you think. But let's take a look at this hand. As you can see, we already have a 1, 2, so potential for 3, 4, 5, 6 potential here. We already have 4, 5 here, a pair of 7s. So remember the circles? In Doman Mahjong, they actually replace the kids' characters, and then quote-unquote dots, or the little Namazu icons, for your pins, or your circles. And then bamboo are actually little swords. Sword-looking things. And then, of course, your dragons and winds are the same. So with this hand, we'll just go ahead and discard this because it doesn't advance our hand at all. And as you can see, it moves pretty quickly against AI. When you're playing against actual players, you will have a move timer, but it's pretty lenient as long as you don't abuse it. So we'll just go ahead and keep working to improve our hand. And as you can see here, I've gone ahead and gotten rid of my honor tiles and my ones. Now, I can actually open my hand here, which I think I will, by declaring Chi, because this person discarded a 3 of characters, and as you can see, we have a 2 and a 4. So I'll go ahead and Chi that, and now you can choose, do I want to take it as a 2, 3, 4, or a 3, 4, 5? We'll take it as a 2, 3, 4 for now. And since we did that, we can discard this 4 of bamboo, because we have a 3, 4, 5 here. They discarded a 7, so we'll go ahead and Chi that. Discard the 6, and now we are actually in Tenpai. We have a 2 weights, we have a 6 of dots, or 6 pin, 6 circles, or a 3 of circles. I don't see either there. Let's go ahead and stay on that. So right now, those are the 2 tiles we're waiting for. We just keep on clicking through. And as you can see, they dealt the 3. So we can declare Ron. Ron is declaring I win, and you dealt into me. Because he dealt into me, the Moogle did, here's our hand, and here's what we won. It was a very cheap hand, it was only worth 1,000 points. But the Moogle is the only one that has to pay me, because they're the one that dealt. They have to bear the full load of the points. So we take it, and the game moves on. Now you'll notice that we're now in East 2, and this little star icon denoting the dealer has changed. Whenever the dealer is always the prevalent wind, so in this case the East wind. And I am, as you can see here, I am the East wind. Whenever a hand ends, if the dealer did not win, the dealer changes to the next person in line. So let's take a look at this hand and see what we can do. We have options here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. We already have 2 green dragons, 2 red dragons. We got a potential meld here. Or we don't want winds. Winds don't help this hand. Let's get rid of this one, it's isolated. Plays a red dragon, and we take it. And now we can discard another tile. In this case, we'll discard this. They play a green dragon, and we take it. And we can discard this. And as you can see here, we're building our melds and moving along. Now, in this particular UI, user interface, you can actually see that where the tile they dealt is. But you can see it's kind of grayed out to indicate it was taken. Now, there's that 9, so we take that. And now we have a weight of either the 4 or 7 of characters. Which is pretty good because none of them have shown yet. let's go ahead and change it. We're going to have less weights. We're worth more points here. And, okay, so this is called Sumo. Where before we declared Ron as the Moogle dealt into us, in this case, our actual draw for turn was the tile we're waiting on. So we declare Sumo. We reveal that we've won, and instead of one person paying us, everyone has to. And so now everyone has to pay me 4,000 based on the size of the hand. Now, one thing to note here is the Dora. The Dora indicator tells you what the bonus tile is for the round. In this case, our hand didn't have any, but we can continue along. When it comes up, we'll show you. Now, the game itself continues until the deal has been passed to everyone the specified number of times. Let's see here. This hand is not conducive to honors. This is probably going to be another Tanya. Or all simples. Good morning, Dragon Kid. So as you can see, we try to dump our honors as fast as possible, and here we go. We are now in business. We have 3, 4, 5. I can dump the extra 5 first to give us options. We do not want honors or terminals with this hand. So 4, 5, 6. 5, 6, 7.
I'm gonna check the breaker.
Yeah, probably for the best. Please don't hit anything. I'm in the middle of recording.
Well, I was there. I'm in the bathroom.
So this is where I mentioned before that we were in Riichi. So we haven't actually done any pawns or cheese, so nothing's revealed, and we're actually able to go into Riichi. We declare Riichi. We discard the last tile that's not part of our hand, and now we have 3, 4, 5. And we're waiting on the 6, and this just got played. So you see here 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, a pair of 8s, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. So we declare Ron. And now we look at our hand. Once again, the Moogle has dealt into us. We declared Ron, so it's dealt into us. We have Tanya, so it's all simples. Riichi, we've declared that, and we won with it. Akadora, so we had one of the Dora tiles. In this case, in Japanese Mahjong or Doman Mahjong, there is one red 5 in each of the 3 numbered suits that counts as a bonus tile, and that's what that is, so it increases the amount paid. For a final total of 7,700 points. And then, of course, because we're the dealer and we won the last hand, there's a little bit of bonus here. So in total, the Moogle pays us another 8,000. Lord of Verminion's having a tournament. I will have to jump on that. Alright, so what does this hand look like? This is a thing. Let's go ahead and, I mean, Tanya is going to be one of your is going to be a bread and butter play for anyone that plays this game. Just because of how simple it is to put together. With that said, though, it's very easy to tell when someone's going for it if you just look at their discards. So you hear the Mandragora has already gone into that each. So now we have to be careful not to play into them. In this case, it is likely best for us to pass. We don't want that 1. But this 8 doesn't help us either. Now we do take this one, and we come out of this. And of course, sometimes the luck doesn't hold and you end up getting dealt every single honor tile in existence. Point in case. But that's the nature of the game. Now, as far as individual hands the special hands that you can use, those are something I would definitely recommend looking into once you have a bit more practice with the base game. Yep. And someone dealt in. I think it was me. No, it was not. It was the Moogle. And as you can see, this hand rocked their world. So 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, so 3 of the same number run, but of different suits. With all 3 different suits, that gives them this. All simples, Riichi, and then Sandora. So it was worth another 8,000 points off the Moogle. Now remember that the game continues until such time as the deal is passed. There is one other instance where the game ends, and that is if a player busts out. So if this Moogle takes another hit like that, this game's over. But the deal has passed, so... Oy, this hand. Let's get rid of that. And let's get rid of that. Of course. This 8's isolated, so let's get rid of it. Good call. Now we are the North Wind, and none of these apply, so let's just get rid of them. Plus the winds have already been dealt out heavily. Five, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be a weird hand and very well might go to the special rule of exhaustive draw. If this number reaches 0, there's nothing there. Now I can reach here, and we are currently waiting for a 4 of bamboo. Or a 1 of bamboo. And they dealt it, so we take it. So in this case, our hand was win with 2 identical straights of the same numbers in the same suit. So we had 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. We declared Riichi. We had 2 of the bonus tiles in our hand. In this case, the 6 of circles, 6 of Namazu. The Uradora is the reverse door, the stuff behind. They're extra bonus tiles. We actually had 2 of those as well, with the 2 of bamboo. And then Akadora are those red 5s I mentioned before. So all told, this came to a 12,000 point hand. And we smack Mandragora back down. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So for the purposes of showing what a weird, what one of those Xer hands looks like, we're gonna go for one. Now the odds of us actually pulling this hand off are obscenely low, but it's still worth some fun to play the game out and let it happen. What we're going for is a special hand called 13 Orphans. Remember how Tanyao was all simples, no terminals or honors? 13 Orphans is the exact opposite. You can only have terminals and honors, but you have to actually have every single one. Because of that, it's a mandatory closed hand, so I'm just going to have to draw everything I need for it. I'm trying to remember. I believe this is a full... Nope, they took that off the Mandragora. Okay. I believe we still have one more wind round. So you see here, the East 4, the dealer didn't win, so the game continues. So if we look at this hand, Pinfu. So win with a hand that consists purely of straights and a pair. So 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and then a pair of 8s. So no honor tiles and just straights in a pair. They declared Riichi, and they had one of the red 5s. So that's how they got to that points total. And there's actually a chart for determining how many points per Han. That is available to be found online, as well as a full list of all hands. So I was right, this does go to a south wind. But our goal here really is just to bust out that Moogle. So we'll pitch our white dragon. Pitch this, and we're actually really close to a hand already. 3, 6, 8. So as you can see here, I did break up some of them. But it does put us into 10 pi, because now we're waiting on either a 4 of bamboo or a 7 of pin. You might be wondering, where's your Yaku? He got the Suno. Darn. But that's fine, it hits everyone, including the Moogle. And now I'm the dealer, so I'll start us off. Let's take a look at this hand. Ooh. This hand's weird. We'll figure it out. Let's get rid of this. So we're actually not going to do a con here. We're going to turn that into a pawn. And so now we just have to wait. Nope, they got their each. Oh. Nope. Moogle, I think, is gone, though. I think that's the end of the game. Yeah, that's definitely the end of the game. Oh, yeah. That's rough. So this hand was 2 identical straights. 5, 6, 7 of pin, 5, 6, 7 of pin. Only a straights and a pair without honor tiles. All simples. Declared reach. Had 3 bonus tiles, the 3 8s. And 1 of the bonus, extra bonus tiles. So a total of 16,000 points, which knocks the Moogle out. When the Moogle is out, knocked out, we check points, and as you can see, I win! Now, again, this is the basic flow and the UI. Really, if you're gonna play this game, the biggest strategy thing you have to remember is don't aim to win. Don't aim to win every hand. If you want to climb consistently, just aim for small hands, get yourself to Tenpai, and let it go to exhaustive draw, if necessary. You didn't see that there, but the way exhaustive draw works is anyone who didn't make Tenpai has to pay a penalty to those who did. You'll get through it eventually, and you'll get your orchestra roll as a result. 1600 ranking may take a while, you may go up, you may go down, but you will get it with time. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and you'll be good to go.